Hello and welcome to today's video. This is English Made Easy by IBPS Guide. Today we will be talking about starters and connectors. We'll be looking at examples and the different strategies you can use to find the correct answer. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you a little about IBPS Guide. On our website, we provide you with free questions on a daily basis. You can use them to prepare for your banking exams as well as SSC exams. You can also check out our test series, which are of the highest standards, and all the questions come with detailed solutions. We also provide you with smart analysis at the end of every test. You can use that to understand which areas you need to work on and which areas are your strengths. Our content is also available in Hindi and English. You can switch between the two as per your preference. You can access our website through the mobile application and also our desktop site. For any more details on our quality mock tests, please visit our e-store at e-store.ibpsguide.com. Do check out our English eBook Pro exclusively on the new pattern. There are over 1,000 practice questions and all of them come with detailed explanations. Topics covered are error spotting, sentence arrangement, synonyms, antonyms, reading comprehension, sentence correction, phrase replacement, and cloze test. All the questions that have been asked in the recent bank exams have been covered in this ebook. You can check out this ebook at e-store.ibpsguide.com. Let's begin our session by looking at the two types of question patterns related to sentence connectors and starters. In the first pattern, two sentences are given. You also have three words given. After this, you will have your options. Options such as only A, only B, both A and C, or none of these. So in this pattern, you can choose more than one answer. Let's take a look at the next pattern. In the second pattern, two sentences are given. They give you 5 options and you have to select only one, which means there is only one correct answer. Now, in these questions, it's very important to ensure that you don't change the meaning of the sentence. This is very important when choosing a word. So, if you are using a word that will change the meaning, that means the sentence is wrong, even if it is grammatically correct. Let's take a look at a few tips before we start with the examples. First, read the sentences and understand the meaning. Because when you know the meaning, it's easier to guess which word is the right answer. Eliminate options that change the meaning. So the purpose is to use a connector without changing the meaning of the sentence, which means you can eliminate options that change the meaning. Next, learn the usage of conjunctions such as and, but, while, since, whether, unless, and now that. So these are conjunctions that are most commonly used and they have a wide variety of uses. So make sure that you understand the usage of these conjunctions. Next, learn the usage of common prepositions such as on, at, by, of, and in. Next, learn the use of contrast signs. Contrast signs are nothing but words that show that there is a contrasting meaning. So if the first part of the sentence is positive, the second part will be negative. If the first part is negative, the second part will be positive. So that's what contrast signs are. And since you know the usage of contrast signs, you can eliminate contrast signs if you see that the meaning in both sentences are positive or if the meaning in both sentences are negative. Last point, learn the use of support signs such as and, similarly, and likewise. So support signs are used to connect two ideas that are similar, right, and equal. For example, when you're using and, you're talking about two things that are similar or equal. And also, when you're using and specifically, it has to be of the same word class. Verb and verb, or noun and noun, adjective and adjective. She is tall and beautiful. He is running and jumping. So that is the purpose of support signs. Now let's start looking at the examples. We will be discussing the meaning and usage of all of these words in detail when we're looking at the examples. First question. In the battle for Deraa, Russia managed to convince the US, Jordan, and Israel that the regime's capture of the province was the best case scenario to stabilize the region. Second sentence, it could make the US and Turkey consider a diplomatic attempt to end the war in the east and the north, which would more or less stabilize Syria. Okay, so when you read both of these sentences, you can see that the key word is stabilize. So both sentences are talking about ways to stabilize a region. So that means that we have to use a support sign, something that says that both of these sentences are similar, right? Okay, let's look at the options. Likewise, however, similarly. Now, likewise is used when you're talking about two things that are similar. It is a support sign. So this word is applicable to this sentence. Next, however. However is used when you're talking about two different things. It is a contrast sign. So if the first sentence is positive, the second sentence has to be negative and vice versa. So this can be eliminated since the two sentences are similar. The last word given is similarly. This again is a support sign. It shows that these two sentences are similar or related and are equal in some way. So since both of the sentences are talking about ways to stabilize a region, we know that they are both similar. So therefore, option C, similarly, is also applicable to this sentence. So the correct answer to this question would be option E, only A and C. Next question. The Indian government's efforts to extradite beleaguered businessman Vijay Mallya enters a crucial phase on Tuesday. Second sentence. The two sides present final submissions in the long-running extradition case. Let's try to understand the meaning in the sentences before we try to figure out the correct answer. Now, both sentences are talking about the extradition case of Vijay Mallya. Extradition means to hand over the criminal to the jurisdiction where the crime was committed. So in this case, Vijay Mallya has run away to a different country and India is trying to get him back to arrest him. So in the first sentence, they are saying that this case has come to a crucial point, right? So they're about to make an important decision. So the second sentence is saying that all the evidence is being submitted. So you can see that the first part of the sentence is happening because of the second part of the sentence, right? So it is reaching a crucial concluding point because all the final evidence is being submitted. So we need to identify the cause and effect relationship in these sentences. What is mentioned in the first sentence is happening due to what's mentioned in the second sentence. Therefore, we need a connector that shows this cause and effect relationship. Let's take a look at the options. Option A, and. B, though. C, as. D, whether. And E, none. Okay, so the first option, and. Like we discussed earlier, and is used when you're talking about two similar things, right? It's a support sign that combines two similar ideas. So that does not show a cause and effect relationship. Therefore, option A is incorrect. The next option is though. Though is a contrast sign which shows that the first part of the sentence is negative and the second part is positive, or vice versa. So they should be opposite in meaning. This again does not show a cause and effect relationship. Therefore, option B, though, is also incorrect. Option C, as. Now, when you're using as a conjunction, it can have two different usages. You can use it to say that at the same time something was happening. For example, he was shaking his leg as he was reading. So this means that he was doing both things simultaneously. The other usage for as is to say due to. She was hungry as she had not eaten breakfast. So you can use it to say that it happened because of something, and you can also use it to say that it happened simultaneously. So in this sentence, we are talking about a cause and effect relationship. So here, the second usage would be applicable. You can use it to say that it happened due to this reason. The next option is whether. Now, whether is used when you're expressing doubt or you're expressing a choice between two alternatives. So this does not show a cause and effect relationship either, which means that it does not fit into this sentence, and that is not the correct option. So of all the options that we've discussed, option C, as, is the only thing that fits into the two sentences. The Indian government's efforts to extradite beleaguered businessman Vijay Mallya enters a crucial phase on Tuesday as the two sides present final submissions in the long-running extradition case. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Next question. Taken together, the draft bill and the report mark a welcome step forward. Second sentence, there are some grey areas that are a cause for concern. So when you read these two sentences, it's very obvious that one sentence is positive and another sentence is negative. So in the first sentence, they're saying that it's a welcome step forward, which means they are happy about this change. But the second sentence says that there are some grey areas that are a cause for concern. So obviously, we need to use a contrast sign to join these two sentences. A contrast sign will show that one part is negative and another part is positive. So let's look at the options. Option A, as. We discussed the usage of as in the previous question. So as can be used for two purposes. One, you can use it to say that two things were happening simultaneously. And two, you can use it to say that one thing happened due to another thing. So in the case of these sentences, both of the usages will not apply because we're not trying to say that it happened simultaneously, and we are not trying to imply a cause and effect relationship either. So we know that as cannot be used to combine these two sentences, therefore we can eliminate option A. The second option is and. As discussed earlier, and is used to combine two supportive ideas, two similar ideas, and in the case of this question, it is clear that the two sentences are opposing. Therefore, we cannot use a support sign such as and. Therefore, option B can also be eliminated. The third option is but. But is clearly a contrast sign which shows that one part of the sentence is positive and another part of the sentence is negative. So, but is a perfect fit for this sentence, and it shows that the first part of the sentence is positive, but the second part is negative. Let's take a look at option D as well. Option D is since. Now, since has two different usages. You can say since when you're talking about time period to say that you have been doing it from that time. Since can also be used to denote cause. You can say that this happened since this happened. So it can be used to show a cause and effect relationship. Therefore, since is also not applicable to these sentences, and but is the correct answer. Taken together, the draft bill and the report mark a welcome step forward, but there are some grey areas that are a cause for concern. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Next question. He is rich, famous, and has everything that one could ask for. Second sentence, he is neither arrogant nor mean. Now, when you read these two sentences, you have to look at the implied meaning. So when you say that someone is rich, famous, and has everything that they could ask for, you're assuming that this person would be arrogant or this person would be rude, right? So the second sentence says, he is neither arrogant nor mean, which is against the normal, right? Normally, if someone is very rich and very famous, they will be arrogant or rude. So here they're saying that he is not. So what you're trying to say is that even though he is rich and famous, he's still not the kind of person who is arrogant or rude. That is the implied meaning. So now with this meaning in mind, let's take a look at the options. First option is although. Now we know that although means in spite of, despite the fact that, right? And when you're dealing with starters and connectors, there's no rule telling you where to add the starter, right? So you can add it in the first sentence, or you can add it in the second sentence, or you can add it in between. The point is you need to combine these two sentences, right? So you can say, although he is rich, famous, and has everything that one could ask for, he is neither arrogant nor rude. Or you can also say it like this. You can say, he is rich, famous, and has everything one could ask for, although he is neither arrogant nor rude. So however you put it, this word still fits the two sentences. Therefore, option A is correct. Let's look at the next option. Option B, unless. Unless has two different usages. One, you can use it as a condition. Unless you have your lunch, you cannot have dessert. So this is a condition. You're saying that only if you have lunch, you can have dessert. Okay? And unless can also be used as an exception. The company will not hire someone without a degree unless he is exceptionally smart. So in this question, there is neither an exception nor a condition. So unless cannot be used to combine these two sentences. The third word given is however. Now both however and although have very similar meanings, and they are both contrast signs. So one part of the sentence contrasts with the other part of the sentence. So you can say he is rich, famous, and has everything that one could ask for. However, he is neither arrogant nor mean. So however also fits these sentences perfectly. So when you have two sentences like this that are contrasting, you should always use a contrast sign. So when you know this, if you saw the options, as soon as you see it, you will know that unless is not a contrast sign. It is a comparative sign. Therefore, your final answer is option E, both A and C. Next question. The anti-corruption law has been brought in line with the UN Convention Against Corruption. Second sentence, making citizens liable for offering a bribe to a public servant. So let's try to understand the meaning first. Making citizens liable for offering a bribe. What does liable mean? It means to hold them responsible. So if someone is giving a bribe, the person who is giving a bribe is also responsible for the crime, not just the person who is receiving it. That is the meaning. So what are they trying to say? The anti-corruption law has been brought in line with the UN Convention Against Corruption. So when they say brought in line with, they're saying that it is agreeable to their standards. It is equal to their standards. This means that earlier our anti-corruption laws were not as good as the UN Convention's anti-corruption laws. But now they are as good as the UN Convention's anti-corruption laws. So what does this imply? Obviously, we have done something to make it better, right? So here you need to recognize the cause and effect relationship. So something has happened to make it better and make it in line with the anti-corruption laws of the UN Convention. And what have we done to make it better? Right? So the second sentence says, we are now making people liable or responsible for giving bribe as well. So the second sentence is the cause and the first sentence is the effect. Now let's look at the options. Option A, since. Okay, so since is used only in two situations. First, to mention time. I have been working here since July, right? So you're mentioning a time period. You can also use since to mention a reason. I am not working today since I am unwell. So in this question, we are not mentioning a time and we're not mentioning a reason either. So since is definitely not the right answer. Next option is by. Now by has three different usages. One, you can use it to mention how to achieve something. You can clear this exam by working hard. Or I will travel by car. So you're achieving something, right? The next usage of by is to show who is performing the action. Coffee is made by her, or milk is produced by cows. So you're specifying who is doing the action. The third usage of by has the meaning to go past or beside. For example, I walked by the park, which means you walked past the park. Another example is I like to sit by the window, which means you like to sit next to the window or beside the window. These are the three different usages for by. In this sentence, we know that there is a cause and effect relationship, which means we can use by in its first usage, meaning you can use it to say that it is a means to achieve something or a method to achieve something, right? Because as discussed earlier, the second sentence is the method we used to achieve what happened in the first sentence. Okay, so the anti-corruption law has been brought in line with the UN Convention Against Corruption by making citizens liable for offering a bribe to a public servant. Let's take a look at the other options as well. The next option is for. For is usually used to mention a purpose or a goal, or it can also be used to mean on behalf of, instead of me. For example, can you go to the shop for me? So as you can see, for this question, this word cannot be used because we have neither a purpose or a goal and we are not using it in the meaning of instead. Next option is however. We discussed this in the previous question. However is used as a contrast sign and the two sentences in this question are not contrasting. Therefore, option D is also incorrect. So our correct answer is option B, by. Next question. The southwest monsoon has been active for nearly a month and is forecast to be normal this year. Second sentence is the CWMA may not face any major problem in overseeing the release of water to Tamil Nadu. This question is quite simple. When you read these two sentences, it is immediately obvious that there is a cause and effect relationship between the two sentences. So the first part says that this year there has been a lot of rain, and the second part says there will be no problem releasing water to Tamil Nadu. So obviously, the reason why there will not be any problem is because there has been enough rain this year. So the cause and effect relationship is quite obvious. Now let's look at the options. The first option is therefore. This clearly indicates a cause and effect relationship. This happened, therefore this is happening, right? So the first option is definitely correct and it fits the two sentences perfectly. Let's look at the second option. Hence. Hence also clearly indicates a cause and effect relationship. We often use it when we're concluding something. These reasons have been stated, hence my argument is correct. So hence also fits the two sentences perfectly. Let's take a look at the third option, and so. Okay, this also clearly shows a cause and effect relationship. So all three of these words are words that we commonly use when we're talking about a cause and effect. This happened, so I am doing this, right? So we know that all three of these options are correct. Therefore, option D, all of the above, is the correct answer for this question. Next question. It is welcome that the states are represented on the Advisory Council, giving it a federal character. Next sentence. It is the center that will have the final say in all matters, not even the apex HECI. So when you read these two sentences, in the first sentence they're saying that the state is represented on the Advisory Council, which means that the state representatives also have a voice in the Advisory Council. They can also express their opinions. In the second sentence, they are saying that all final decisions are made by the central government. So you can see that there is a contradiction. In the first sentence, they're saying that the state representatives have a say. In the second sentence, they're saying that the center will only make the final decision, which means the state representatives don't have a say in the final decision, right? So these two sentences are in contrast. Therefore, we need to look for contrast signs. Let's look at the options. The first option is for. As discussed earlier, for can be used to state a purpose or a goal, or it can be used with the meaning instead of. For is not a contrast sign, and therefore it will not fit the sentences given in this question. The next word is because. Because is used when there is a cause and effect relationship. It is not a contrast sign. So because cannot be used to combine these two sentences. The third option is due to. Due to again is used when we have a cause and effect relationship, and this sentence does not have that. The fourth option is since. And as we discussed earlier, since can be used to mention time, and since can also be used to mention a reason. In this question, we have neither mentioned time nor reason. So since cannot be used to combine these two sentences. So actually, when you take a look at the options, the last option, although, is the only contrast sign in this list. So if you are able to identify that these two sentences are contrasting each other, you will be able to find the correct answer as soon as you see the list, because although is the only contrast sign. For more examples and sample question papers, please check out our English ebook Pro. All the questions are in the new pattern, and all of them come with detailed solutions. To check out this ebook, please visit estore.ibpsguide.com. Alright everyone, that's all for today's video. I hope you found the tips useful. Do leave your thoughts in the comment section below. We would love to know what topics you want us to cover in the next video. If you liked this video, please like, share and subscribe for regular updates. We will be uploading more tips and tricks videos and videos on vocabulary as well. As always, work hard and work smart.